Test. Okay, nice. So are you sending your homework through WhatsApp or?
WhatsApp.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. Let me know once you have sent me.
I sent already.
Okay. I don't see it in my WhatsApp. Okay, but it's okay. So you talk about you wanted to split the lesson to an hour. Yeah, 2 lessons of an hour. So then after discussion with your mom, and your mom said it's better to go with 2 hour per lesson. So what do you think?
What?
Oh, you propose. You wanted to you wanted to have 2 lessons of 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
But somehow your mom, I think you talked to your mom, and your mom said, okay, 1 hour a lesson is too short, and that's why we will continue with 2 hour.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think I agree with my mom because she knows better.
Okay, good. Okay, I have not received the homework from you yet through WhatsApp.
It's loading. I have bad Wi-Fi today.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so instead of talking about, okay, while we are waiting for your this homework, so let me just do a recap. Okay, let me just do a recap of the most important, I think the most important concept, okay, for Sec 2 and Sec 3. Okay, so we start with these quadratic equations. Okay, so I hope you are seeing a white canvas which I can write on. Good. So you should be able to see a white canvas, and I'm actually writing QU, quadratic. So at any point that you can't see what I'm sharing, just let me know. Okay. Quadratic equation. Can you still remember what is the format of a quadratic equations?
I totally forgot.
Okay. So how many terms?
3 or 4.
Yes, 3 terms. All right, 3 terms. Okay. And then the first term is something to the x to the power of 2, right? Can you remember that? And then the next term is something to the power x to the power 1. Okay, so example, you have 2x, and then you have the last term, which is a constant. So it can be let me see. Okay, good, minus 15. Okay, so this is a quadratic equations. All right, this is a quadratic equations, and you have 3 terms. Okay, this is your first term, and then this is the second term, and then this is the third term. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, so once you have these quadratic equations, can you think of what can you do to solve these quadratic equations? You still remember?
You separate it.
Okay, yeah. So you have to split the first term. So you have x squared. So you have to split to x and x, right? Over here. And then somehow you will take care of the third term first. So how do you get negative 15? You have a few combinations, right? So can you think of a combination that can get you minus 15?
So x, another x, negative 15.
So for negative 15, How do you get negative 15? What's the combination?
One times negative 15.
1 times negative 15. Okay, this is one of the combination that can get you minus 15. But if you look at this, okay, so you have chosen 1 and negative 15, and then after that you are going to bracket it up, and you realize these two, if you times them together, do you get the plus 2x? Do you get the plus 2x?
No.
I don't think so. So if you don't get the plus 2x, so that means this combination does not work. So you have to choose another combination. Okay, so can you think of another combination that can give you plus 2?
Plus 2. 4, 6, 8, 10.
So minus 15, you have chosen 1 times minus 15. So this combination does not work. So what is the other combination you can test?
Is it possible?
What's that?
5, 10, 15. I don't think it's possible.
No, okay. So can you tell me what can which two times themselves together can get you minus 15? So you have tried 1 and negative 15. Can you give me another combination?
5 times 3 negative
nice.
3 or negative
okay, so 5 times negative 3. Okay, so why 5 times negative 3? Can you see that 5 times negative 3? So if you put 5 here, negative 3 here, so I think if you times these two together, you are going to get the plus 2x. That's how you decide. So if you times these two together, all right, so clearly you have x squared. Here you get negative 3x, and then for this you get plus 5x, and then over here you get negative 15. Okay, bingo, you get plus 2x. Okay, so you have chosen the right combination. Okay, so once you get this combination, the next step is, so this is the right combination because you have tested it. Okay, you get plus 2x. All right, so once you get this the right combination, the next step is, what's the next step? Can you still remember?
The next step is,
so basically you have chosen this, which is the correct combination. So what's the next step from here?
The next step from here, to check.
No, you are supposed to solve for x. All right, so the next step is you equate this to 0, you equate this to 0. Okay, so if you equate this x plus 5 equals to 0, x is equal to negative 5. Okay, and then for this x minus 3 equals to 0, so x is equal to 3. So you have two answers. Okay, all right. And by the way, this method is called factorization method. Factorization. All right, so please remember this. All right, so if you have a quadratic equation, all right, that looks like this: first term, second term, and third term, and equal to 0. So you can actually make use of the factorization method to solve this. All right. All right, okay. So now let me test you with another question. In fact, I have received your homework. So let me see if there is an example. Let me go to this example. Okay, let me start from the back. Okay, there are a lot of questions that you have circled. So let me just pick the, okay, let's start from 16. Okay, let me go to the next page. Okay, question 16. In fact, you can refer to it, but over here I see there is okay, you have this. most likely you cannot see question 15. You cannot see question 16 because you are supposed to see the white canvas. So I will just write down the question, which is 16a is 3p squared equals to 2. Yes. Yes.
Sorry, I'm telling my cat.
Okay. So can you just get your cat aside first? So let's focus first. Yeah. Okay. Good. So you have 16. Okay, because you have circle 16a. So 16a, the question is 3p squared equal to 12p. So when you have this, so what you can do is you have 3p squared, and since this 12p is actually on the right, so you need to bring it to the left hand side of the equal sign. So when you have 12p, you bring it to the left hand side, you will get minus 12p, and then you will, so the right hand side is equal to 0 after moving the 12p to the left hand side. Are you okay with this step?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Then the next step is, so can you see what is the common factor among these two? So you have
where did 6a go?
There is no 16a, right? No, this question is 16a.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the question is 3p squared equals to 12p. Okay. So I have moved 12p from the right hand side to the left hand side. That's why I have to write negative 12p. So what is the common factor between these two? So 3p squared and minus 12p, what is common? They both
3.
Yep, they both have a p. Anything else?
P.
Yes. So once you have taken out the common factor 3p, and then for 3p squared, you have taken out 3p, so you are left with p, right? And then for the minus 12p, you have taken out 3p, so you are left with, so this you left with p, this you left with
12. Oh wait, no, 3, 6, 9, 3. Wait, 4.
Yes. Okay, so once you get this, so it's similar to what we talked about just now, if you still can recall. If you can't recall, I will just go to the first page. So once you get to this step, can you see? Once you get to this step, what is your next step? Your next step is to equate the first bracket to 0. And then you equate the second bracket to 0. Okay? So let's make use of this technique. All right, let's make use of this technique. So the next technique is, this is your first term, this is your second term. So you equate your first term to 0, and then you equate your second term to 0. Can you follow so far? So if you have 3p equals to 0, your p is equal to 0. Because 0 times anything is 0, right? You can actually use your calculator. P is actually 0 divided by 3. So 0 divided by 3 is 0. Okay, for the first term. And then 3p minus 4 equals to 0. So p equals to 4. So these are the two answers for 16a. All right. You don't sound convinced.
Give me a second to process.
Yeah, please. Yeah, you can stop me if I go too fast. Step 1, step 2, and then step 3. All right. Which step you need me to elaborate again?
2 to 3.
2 to 3. Okay, so let's go to the page 1. Okay, so focus your attention on this one. Okay, can you see over here? So you have x plus 5 bracket times x minus 3 bracket equals to 0. So the next step is you have to equate x plus 5 to 0. Can you see this step? And then you also equate this. Sorry, you also equate this to 0.
But why?
All right. Can you digest this first?
Why can't I just remove the bracket and then just move the 5 and the 3 to the other side?
You're talking about, okay, I didn't catch you. What did you say? Sorry.
Why can't I just take off the brackets and then put 3 and 5 onto the other side?
Okay, so you have ended up in the factorization format already, which is here. So this is your factorized format. Okay. So once you have the factorized format, then the next step is just for you to equate the first bracket to 0, then the second bracket to 0, and that's it. And I don't know why you need to bring it to the other side again. What I'm trying to say is, if let me give you an example. So if you end up with this, so this is a very good example. So if you end up this, so what is your next step? By the way, in between is a times. So what's the next step?
The next step is
you just equate this to
0.
0. Why? Because this is 0, right? So you just equate this to 0. So if you equate the first one to 0, you will get x equals to -1. And if we equate the second one to 0, you will get x equals to 2. So you found 2 answers for x.
I see.
Yes. So why you want to like expand? You don't expand the bracket. If you expand, okay, so probably you must be thinking, can you expand? Yes, you can, but it doesn't help you. You see, if I expand, okay, let me just expand it for you to see. If you expand it, you can't solve. You go back to the original. First term, second term, third term. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, yeah. So this is actually what you begin with, 3 terms, and then your job is to get it into this format. And once you get it into this format, you just equate both of them to 0, and then you can figure out the x. All right. So if I go back to the example just now over here, can you see you end up with the step 1 here, and then the next step is you take out the common factor, which is the second step. And then once you end up with the second step, can you see that the 3p is actually the first term, and then the p minus 4 is the second term? So you just equate both of them to 0 here and here.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
So once you equate both of them to 0, then you end up with p equals to 0 for the first answer, and then this will be the second answer for p. So far so good?
Yeah.
Good. So next, 16b. 16b is similar. So let me write down the question for 16b. So 16b is 4x squared minus 5 equals to x minus 14. Okay, what do you think? Can you see that you have 4x squared here? And minus 5?
Yeah.
And then over here, so what you need to do? You need to open the brackets first. That's your first step.
Okay.
So I just copy down the left hand side because I don't need to do anything to it. So I just open this x squared for the first arrow. So for the second arrow is 14x. So far so good?
Yep.
So can you see that you can actually bring this entire thing to the left hand side? And I'm going to tell you why. So I just bring it over first. So 4x squared minus 5, I just copy down because I'm not going to do anything to it, but I'm going to move this entire thing to the left hand side. So x squared, so when I move to the other side, minus x squared. Minus 14x, I move to the other side is plus 14x. So can you see that you will end up with a 3x squared plus 14x minus 5. So once again, how many terms you have here?
I have 3.
Yes. So can you think of, you have 3 terms. So what's the next step?
To do factorization.
Exactly. You see, they keep testing you this. Okay. Yes. So in fact, you just have to when you see 3 terms, and then if it's x squared, and then you just think of the factorization method. Okay, it's very methodical. Okay, you just have to make use of the method, and then just very straightforward. Okay, how do you get 3x squared? What is the combination that you can get 3x squared? So let's do it one by one. First term, second term, third term. How do you get the first term?
The first term.
So
3 times x, 3x times x.
Very good. So you can have 3x times x. All right. So now let's tackle the third term. How do you get -5? What's the combination? 1 and
-5.
Okay. Okay, you are close. You are close. Okay. So if you have this, 1 means +1, huh? So if you bracket it up, so you're going to end up with 3x plus 1, and then x minus 5. And if you are going to open it, you will realize that you have -14 instead.
Oh.
And what you're supposed to get is, you see, you have -14x, but actually the question wants you to have +14x, right?
So +5.
Exactly. Oh, you are much better today. Yeah, you are. I think you are more alert today, and you know what to do. Nice. Okay. So if you change the sign, and then you will see that. So you're going to get this -1, and then this will end up with +5. Okay. So if you continue with this, so the second arrow is supposed to be +15x, and then this will be -1x -5, and then this is supposed to be +14x. Yes, this is what you are supposed to get. Okay, so that means this is the right combination. Okay, so the right combination will be here. So once you get this, the right combination and the 2 brackets, you equate it to 0. And then the next step is very simple. Just equate both to 0, right? Can you still remember? Okay. So over here,
yeah.
-1 equals to 0, x plus 5 equals to 0. Over here is 1/3, and then over here is -5. So 2 answers.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So this is called quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. And you are solving this. Quadratic equation using factorization method. All right. All right. So it's very if you know the method, if you know the step, you just follow the step, and it's very systematic. Okay. So let's move on, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. In fact, I start from the back. Okay. So now let's go to 15. Wait, go to the next page. Okay. Question 15. The diagram shows a spinner divided into 6 equal sectors. So they talk about probability. So do you have any idea what is probability?
Probability.
Probability.
Like chance?
Yes. So can I just ask you a very simple question? So if you have a coin, okay, so a coin, a normal coin, okay, you have 2 faces. You have the head and the tail, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what is the or what's the probability of getting a head if you flip it once?
50-50.
Yeah. So basically 50-50 is half.
Yeah.
So half. So basically what this means is, so the way to write probability is the probability, so the P of getting a head. So this, please note the notation here. Okay, this is seen as probability of getting a hit. Okay? Okay, so the probability of getting a hit is half. Okay, you use a fraction. Okay, you use a fraction to represent the probability, or you can use decimal number. But generally, we prefer fraction. Okay, so half means half of the time you will get a hit. Okay, so if you write probability of getting a tail is also half. So this means half of the time you will get a tail. All right. So this is the concept of probability. So right now, let's go to question 15 based on this basic concept. So over here they have this. This is called a 1, 2. Okay, so this is 12. This is 13. This is 14, 15, 16, 17. So you have how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically you have 6 numbers here. Okay. Okay. And then you have this. You have this arrow. So I think you will spin the arrow. Okay. So you will spin the arrow. So you just spin the arrow. So you spin once. So they ask when the pointer is spun, find the probability that the pointer will stop at a sector with a prime number. Okay, number one, first, they ask for prime number. So can I ask you, what is a prime number?
What's a prime number? Prime number. I forgot.
Okay, good. So you have to remember the definition of a prime number. If you cannot remember the definition of prime number, you cannot solve this question. Okay, so the definition of prime number is there are two factors. Two factor means something times something. Okay, that's the first definition. I mean the first requirement. Second requirement, the factors are one and itself. Okay, so let's test 12. So 12, how can you split 12? Can you give
2, 6.
2, 6. Any other combination?
1, 12.
Yes, very good. So can I ask you, there are two factors. So how many factors you have here? I mean, if you stop here, how many factors for 12? How many factors? 1, 2, 3, 4. You already have 4 factors. So can 12 fit the first requirement?
No. No.
No. Why? Because the first requirement is there are 2 factors. So how many factors you have here for 12?
4.
4. So that means 12 is not a prime number. Cross out.
Okay.
Because it's more than 2 already. Okay. So test 13. That's how you test for prime numbers. So can you think of a combination for 13?
13. 113.
113. Can you think of another combination?
No.
No. Okay, good. So let's test. Does this fit the first requirement? 2 factors.
Yeah.
Okay, you have 1 and 13. So the second requirement, the factors are 1 and itself. Is it 1 and itself?
Yep.
Nice. So 13 is a prime number. So write down 13. Okay, so you test 14. That's how you test. All right. So what do you think of 14? First combination.
1, 4.
114. Next.
Yeah, 114. 2, 2, 7.
2, 7. Okay. Can you realize that there are already 4 factors? So more than 2 factors. So 14 is not prime number. So you don't test. Okay. Understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with 15. What about 15? Can you think of more than 2 combinations? More than 2 combinations? If you can think of 2 combinations, which 2?
5, 3, 115.
Very good. So more than 2. So 15 is not. 16?
16, 1, 16, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16,
Wait.
8.
Yeah. So more than 2 factors. So 16 is not. What about 17?
17, 117.
Exactly. So you just ask yourself, how many factors? 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are the factors 1 and itself? 1 and itself. Yes. So 17 is also. So are prime numbers.
Yep.
Okay, good. But we have not answered the question yet. Okay. We are 50% done. Okay, good. So if you have understood or memorized the definition of prime number, and then you realize that out of these 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, 13 and 17 are prime numbers. So now the question is, they want to find the probability of getting prime number. So, okay, by the way, this mathematical expression means probability of getting a prime number. So what do you think? How many numbers are here? 6 of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you always put the 6 as the denominator. Okay. And then how many prime numbers you have here? Out of the 6?
Out of the 6.
13 and 17, right? So how many out of 6?
How many out of what?
How many out? Okay. How many? They want to know the probability of getting a prime number. Okay. So how many prime numbers you have in this?
2, 6. So 1, 2, 4, 6.
So
1, 1,
3. Yeah, it's 1 over 3. All right. So this is the way to get the probability of getting a prime number out of this. This is called so pentagon, hectagon. Yeah. Yeah. This is a hectagon. All right. So the answer is 1/3 for A. All right.
Okay.
Good. Next. So the next question is a single digit number. Single digit number. By the way, can I ask you 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? So you have 6 of them, right? So the probability of getting a single digit number. So are there any single digit number out of this?
No.
No. So you put 0 on top. So the answer is 0. All right. So the probability is 0. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for prime numbers, 1/3. And for this single digit number, there is no single digit here. They are all double digits. So 0 over 6. So by the way, 6 is always the all the numbers. Then over here is that particular whatever the question is asking. Okay. So in this case, it's 0 out of 6. So 0 out of 6 is 0. Okay. Next. That's it. 15 AB done. Okay. 2 marks. All right. Then what about if I ask you for another question out of this? So the question is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. What about the probability of getting an even number? So total is 6. How many even number you have here?
Even number 12, 14, 16. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 3 out of 6. So 1 out of 2.
Very good. Okay. So that's the way to find probability. Are you clear?
Yeah.
So 6 is always the total. I mean, the denominator is always the total. You put the total in the denominator, and then the 3 is always what the question is asking. All right. Okay. Okay. Good. Next. Okay, 14. Okay, 14. Okay, 14 is actually question 14. The concept is set 3 concept. They talk about you buy something and you have this down payment scheme. Have you learned about this scheme? You know what's down payment?
Kind of.
Okay, can you tell me when can you use down payment scheme?
It's like a basic. It's like if you want to buy some, it's like maybe buying a house, I guess.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so let's talk about a 300K house. So how do you pay this house by this down payment scheme? Just give me an example.
You don't have enough money all at once, so you pay like a basic amount.
Okay, that's called a down payment. The first payment is called a down payment.
Yeah, and then you just pay like a certain amount with interest every month.
Nice. That is called monthly repayment. If you pay monthly repayment. And then these two will add up to the these two will add up to the total cost of the house. Sometimes, like you say, the monthly repayment include the interest, right? So these two, they add up might be more than the 300,000 because of the interest. So that's the basic understanding of this down payment scheme. All right, so you have a very good understanding of this scheme. So let's look at the question. Over here, they are buying a LCD TV, which is 4250. Okay, the price for a TV is 4250, and then it says yeah, you pay by the down payment scheme. So actually, the down payment, which is the first payment, is actually 10%. Okay, so what is the down payment then? 10%. So what you do, 4250, 10% of this. Actually, you have written down the, yeah, you have written it down. So the answer is, okay, let me just, your answer doesn't look very right to me. So I think I should teach you, this is the way. So you find out the down payment first, and then if you use this times 10%, can you help me out using a calculator?
Uh, 42500.
4250 times 10%.
Oh, 10%. Okay.
Yeah.
425.
Okay, 425. So 425 is the first payment, which is also called the down payment.
Yeah.
So after you pay this first payment, so the selling price is 4250. So you can actually find out what is the rest. And this rest, you are going to pay by monthly, according to the question. So what's the rest? You just take 4250 minus the first payment. So what's the rest? Can you help me out?
4250 minus 425.
Yes.
3825.
Nice. So it's 3825. So this is the rest. And they say this rest you are going to pay monthly installment over 2 years. So this you are going to pay by 2 years, but it's a monthly payment. Okay. And then at a simple interest of 4.2% per annum. So basically the interest right now on this, the interest on this rest is 4.2% per annum. You know what's the meaning of annum?
No. Oh, yeah, yearly.
Per year. Annum means per year.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So they say you are the interest is 4.2% per year, and you are going to pay for 2 years. Okay.
Is it okay if I go to the toilet?
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Are you back? Nice. Okay, so we are talking about this down payment scheme. So we were at here. So you have this rest 3825, and you're going to pay interest 4.2% per year for 2 years. They talk about simple interest here. Talk about simple interest. So this interest is simple interest. Do you know what's the meaning of simple interest? Okay, so let me just show you an example. The difference between simple interest and there is another term called compound interest. So simple interest versus compound interest. So let's say you start with $100 for both of them, okay, and then the interest rate is 4% per annum for 3 years. Okay, so let's find out for simple interest, what are you going to get after 3 years based on the same starting amount and the same interest for 3 years. Okay, can you do the simple interest? What's the final amount? You have any idea how to find out this?
Divided by 100 times 104.
Okay. In fact, I don't know. I don't know whether you have learned the concept of simple interest or compound interest. I would like to use my way to show you how you can actually find simple interest and compound interest, and you just see if my way is easier for you to understand, and if it's easier, then please adopt my way. All right. So let me just go through this once. Then next time, if you face simple interest or compound interest, you'll know what to do. So for simple interest, right? So for 3 years, so it's important to you write down first year, second year, third year. All right. So first year, you can actually write down first year interest, second year interest, third year interest. So what is the first year interest? How do you get it? So every year is 4%. So you have 100 times 4%. So the first year interest is actually $4. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Second year, because it's simple interest, you start with 100. So once again, 100 times 4%, another $4. So far, so good.
Yep.
So second year interest is also $4. So third year, because it's simple interest, so same thing, $4. So after 3 years, can you see that all the interest add up? Okay, the total interest is actually 4 plus 4 plus 4, and you will get how much? 3 times 4 is 12. This is a times, huh? Okay, so the total interest is 12. So if I ask you, you start with this $100, after 3 years, you are going to get $100, what you start with, and then plus the interest, which is $12. So you are supposed to get 112. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Good. So this is simple interest. Okay. So I'm going to talk about what is compound interest. So let me talk about what is compound interest and how is it different from the simple interest. Okay, same thing, $100, 4% per annum for 3 years. Let's see the difference. Later we are going to compare the difference. All right. So once again, you write down first year interest. So I'm not going to write all, just second year and then third year. Okay, first year you start with 100, right? So you times 4%. So you get $4. Am I right? Okay, because this is compound interest, all right? After first year, you are going to get $4 more, right? So that for the second year, you don't start with 100, you start with 100 plus this 4. So actually you start with 104. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So you times 4% for the second year. So the difference here is just now, every year is 100, 100, 100 for simple interest. But for compound interest, something is different. Your first year you start with 100, and because after the first year you will get the $4, so the second year you actually start with $4 more. So you start with 104. So 104 times 4, what do you get? Can you help me out? 104 times 4%, what do you get?
104 divided by 100 times 4. 4.16.
4.16. Okay, because your second year you get this 4.16 more, so therefore your third year you will get 104 plus the 4.16, which is this is 108.16 times the 4%. Can you see the compound effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is compound interest. So can you help me out? 108.16 times 4%. So what's the answer for third year interest?
$4.3264.
Very nice. Okay, I don't want to round off my answer now. Okay, I will round off my answer for the final answer. Okay, so basically first year you get $4 as interest, second year you get 4.16 as interest, third year you are going to get 4.3264 as interest. So after 3 years, because of compound interest, you start with 100, you are going to add these 3 up. Can you help me out? If you add these 3 up, what's the interest after 3 years? What's the total interest? Can you help me out?
12.486.
Cannot be 4 plus 4.16 plus 4.3264. It should be 12 something.
Yeah, 12.4864.
Nice. Okay, so you start with $100 and the total interest is 12.4864, and then you will end up with 112.4864. Okay, because we are talking about dollars here, so dollars here you need to round to 2 decimal places. All right, so if you round to 2 decimal places, so you just delete your 64. So because this is 6, so you need to round up, so it becomes 9. So this is the answer for compound interest. So you compare this answer 112.49 to just now. If I'm not wrong, just now is 112 from simple interest. So you are actually getting more if you compound it. Okay. You have to unmute to speak up. Hello? You have mute yourself.
Yeah.
So are you clear how you can yeah, good. So both compound interest and this simple interest. Okay, so very clear cut. That's how you do your work. So basically 112 is the total money you get. So the total money is given by the starting and then the total interest for simple interest in this case. And then for compound interest, you have the starting 100 and then you have the compound interest, and then therefore this is the total money you get. And by the way, I've rounded these to 2 decimal places. All right. Can we proceed to the question? TV. So it's just between you and me. I don't think you need to mute yourself. So it's supposed to be more interactive. All right. Okay, so over here, simple interest. Okay, 4.2%, 2 years. Very good. So what I need to do? I need to write down first year. What's the interest? Right? Then second year. What's the interest? Hello, are you there, by the way? Oh, you have gone offline. All right. Let me just go and grab a drink. I will come back in 1 minute. Yeah. See you in 1 minute. Yeah. All right, I'm back. Let me know when you are back as well. Very good. Good that you are back. Okay, let's continue. Oh yeah, like I say, it's only between you and me, so there's no need for you to mute yourself. Yeah. So the lesson should be more interactive, both ways. So feel free to speak up. All right, let's go to the question. Question is actually simple interest. Yes. Okay, over here we have 3825, and then we need to do simple interest for 2 years. So I have written down first year interest, second year interest. You start with 3825. And then the interest rate is 4.2%. So 4.2%. Can you help me out? What's the answer for the first year interest?
Okay. 349.65.
349.65. Am I right? Cannot be so large. Let me just let me double check here. That 3825 times 4.2%. 160.65. You want to double check for me? I'm getting 160.65. No. Can you redo it?
Sorry, could you say that again? Just now I disconnected a bit.
Okay, good. So basically you need to do this.
Okay, the answer is 349.65.
Like I say, your answer is wrong. I just use my calculator. It should be 16 something. Can you do it again?
Sorry, I changed the 3 and the 8 place. It's 160.65.
Now it makes sense. 160.0.65. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay, so first year the interest is this. Okay, then my question to you is, so what about second year interest? This is simple interest. So do you take 3825 times 4.2% again? Or you need to add this to the 3825? What do you think?
Right?
We are talking about what interest here?
Oh, you are talking about interest?
What interest? Simple interest here, right? We are talking about simple interest here. So do you think we need to add the first year interest to the original sum?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't need to. Okay, unless we are talking about compound. If we are talking about compound, you add the first year to the original. But here we are talking about simple. Simple means you don't add. So you start with the same thing and then times the 4.2%. So you are going to get the same interest for the second year. Okay, so after 2 years, the first year is this, the second year is this. Can you find out what's the total interest then?
Okay.
160.65 plus 160.65. So what's the total interest?
It's 321.3.
Very good. 321.3. Okay. So this is the total interest. So you start with 3825, right? You start with 3825. Okay. So you plus this 321.3. So what's the total? So this is the start. This is the 2 year interest. So what's the total now? That means you need to pay. Can you help me out?
Yeah. It's 4146.3.
4146.3. Okay, good. Okay, so this 4146.3, right, is after 2 years, and every year okay, this is after 2 years. Okay, and the plan is what? The plan is you are going to pay off this 4146.3 in 2 years. Okay, that's the plan. So instead of after, is in. Okay, so in 2 years, and in these 2 years, they call it the repayment. We're talking about repayment now. The repayment is actually monthly. So can I ask you, in 2 years, how many months in 2 years? How many months in 2 years? 24, right? So basically, you need to pay off 4146.3 in 24 months. So 1 month, how much the person has to pay? So this is the monthly repayment. Can you help me out?
Yeah, it's sorry, give me a second. It's 172.7625.
17. Sorry. Slow down a bit. 17.
Okay, 172.7625.
Okay, so since we are talking about dollars here, so you have to round to 2 decimal places. So this is the 2, right? So 2, you need to round down. So this is your monthly repayment. All right. So that's how you can get the monthly installment. So does this make sense to you now? So this is the answer. Yeah. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see your answer. Okay, your answer is slightly okay. They say 10 cents. 10 cents. So your answer is more accurate. So your answer is correct. So the answer is 172.8. So the answer actually you need to round to, they say round to 10 cents. Okay, so round to 10 cents means you need to go to this. So it's 80. Okay, so the answer is correct. But I'm just demonstrating to you my way of doing this question. Okay, of course, your answer is correct. All right, good. 13. Express something. This is called this is what I call the question 13 is manipulation, algebraic manipulation. Okay, you haven't.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why do I do express papers, not normal CAD?
Because okay, so since you are going to Sec 3 normal CAD, right?
Yeah.
So in fact, right, Sec 2 express and NA lah. So Sec 3 express and NA lah. So in fact, right, if you do the Sec 2 express, right, in fact, Sec 2 express is harder than Sec 2 NA. So if you do Sec 2 express, right, it will cover a bit of Sec 3 NA. So I'm also teaching you some of the Sec 3 NA stuff. All right.
Okay.
So in fact, when I give you express paper, so it's supposed to be harder, okay? But actually, it's actually preparing you for the Sec 3, which is next year. Because I think we should kickstart Sec 3 materials as well. All right.
Okay.
In fact, if you keep on doing the express paper, right? Next time you see the NA paper, you will see, oh, how come it's so easy? Okay. So if you keep doing the express paper, right? Actually, express paper, they are much harder than NA paper.
Okay.
So if you find this easy, then your next time if you face your NA paper, then you say, hey, so easy. Then you sure score. Okay. All right. So question 13. It's okay if you don't know. So if you don't know, so we will go through the questions together. So this is question 13. So let me just write down the question. Okay, so first thing first. So you have what you have. You have two fractions. Can you see? You have two fractions. So what is the way to combine? So you have two fractions, right? So can I give you a simple example first? Let's say if you have half, you have 1/3. How do you do this question? How do you do this question first? half plus 1/3 without using a calculator.
Make it the same denominator.
Very good. So the first step is same denominator. Okay, so you do the same. So over here, you need to times the 3. Over here, you need to times the 2. So over here, you get 3/6. Then over here, you get 2/6. So you end up with 5/6. So this is the step to tackle this question. So the same concept applies to this. Okay, the first step is always same denominator. So how do you get the same denominator out of the question? Any idea? How do you get the same denominator out?
Unbracket the first one.
Okay, so in fact, you were saying you can actually expand this, right? Okay, if you expand it, I realize if you expand it, you are going to make it more complicated. Let me show you. Does this look more complicated than this? I think so. So over here, you have 3 terms, right? 1, 2, 3. And over here, I think it's pretty nice. Factorized format. So are you going to make it more complicated? I don't think so. So in fact, in mathematics, right, you try to make things simple, okay, instead of making things complicated, because if it's more complicated, it's harder for you. Does it sound right to you? More complicated, harder, and you don't want to do it. You don't want to make it complicated, right? So you don't expand it, okay, unless they ask you to. So normally the approach is not expansion. Okay, so the step is actually you look at this 4 minus 2x. What do you see? What do you see here? 4 minus 2x. Can you see a common factor?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the common factor here? For the second denominator. 2. Very good. So I'm not going to do anything to this first fraction first. I'm just copy it down first, because I don't see any opportunity to simplify it. It's already quite simplified. So I'm going to just get the 2 out. If I get the 2 out, for the 4, I am left with 2. For the minus 2x, I'm left with this. Yeah, that's the first step. All right, try to make things simpler first. Okay, when you make things simpler, what do you think? What's the next step? Can you see something similar between these 2 fractions? Anything similar between these 2 fractions or not?
2 and x.
Yes, but they are, I will say they are similar, but not so similar. Okay, similar means they both have the x and then 2. But can you see that the x for the first fraction is actually in front, right? And then can you see the minus 2 is actually at the back? Versus the second fraction here, can you see the 2 is actually in front, and then the minus x is at the back. So can you see that the order is different, right? Yeah, so when you have the order is different, right, the technique is this. Okay, let me demonstrate to you the technique. Okay, they are similar, but the order is different. So the technique is this. I'm going to show you the technique. So the technique is you need to change the order. Okay, I don't see any opportunity to change the first fraction, so I just copy it down. But I see opportunity to change this, so I need to move this minus x in front, and then I need to put the 2 at the back. Okay, and not only I need to do this. Okay, I need to take out the minus. I need to take out the minus here. Okay, so if I take out the minus, right? If I take out the minus, okay, if I take out the minus, so 2, I need to take out the minus 1. So if I take out the minus, this minus x, I get x here. And then the plus 2 here, I'm going to get minus 2. Can you see the transformation?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all. So I have really transformed it to this format. Okay, so once I have this format, I need to simplify. 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. Ah, good. Can you see that they have a similar, they are similar already now?
Yeah.
Good. So now you can actually combine them. So this one compared to this one. Okay. So this one you compare to the second fraction, I think you short off a minus 2. Am I right?
Yeah.
Then this one compared to this, okay, I think you short off a x minus 2. Because over here is square, over here is 1. So you need to times itself one more time. So but you need to times both numerator and denominator. All right. So far so good. Then you can combine them. Okay. Then now you can combine them already because you have gotten them into the same denominator. So this one you will get minus 16 above here over minus 2 x minus 2 bracket square. And then for this one, you will get plus. So for this one, you will get 5x minus 10. And then below, you will get minus 2x minus 2 bracket square. Can you see that the same denominator already? Same denominator. Yeah. You can just combine the numerator. Over here is add. So you just add. So the same denominator, minus 2x minus 2 square minus 16 plus 5x minus 10. This one and this one you can combine, which is minus 26. So that's the answer. All right. And actually you can also, okay, this is one of the answers. You can actually do some manipulation. Okay, so can you see the minus sign here? Can you see the minus sign here? You can put it on top instead. If you put it on top instead, then your minus sign, you go in, you will see that this first arrow will get you the minus 5x. Second arrow will give you plus 26. Then after that, of course, the plus 26 and then this minus 5x, you can change place. So it looks better. So the 26, I just move it in front. So this can be the answer as well. Compared to this. They are both correct. But I think this one looks better. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so this is how you combine the two. Basically, you need to use the concept of make it the same denominator and then combine the fractions. All right. Okay, you have this factorize completely. Okay, this factorization is 4 terms. So when you have 4 terms, I think the other time you also do 4 terms, and you did it correctly. For 4 terms, you just group them together. This is a z, by the way, or you call it zz. So this is a z, not 2. So you have 4 terms. Can you see? 4 terms. So 3 terms. Can you remember 3 terms is factorization method? 3 terms is generally quadratic equation, factorization method. 4 terms you need group. 4 terms group. Group them into pairs. Okay, let me show you. Let me group this. Okay, which one looks better to you? X and X. They both have X and X. Then over here they both have a Y and Y. Okay, so I just group. So I group this first group, and this is my second group. All right. So with first group, second group, first group, what is common for the first group? 3 is common, X is common. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Then after that you get X, and then over here you get 3Z. So first group done. Second group. So what is common? You have a 9, and then you have a Y. Both have a Y. And then for the first group, 9xy, you have already taken out 9y, so you have x left. And then for this minus 27, you have 3z left. And then there is a plus sign. Can you see there is a plus sign? I just copied that. And can you see that there is a common factor? X minus 3z. So you just group them, you take out this common factor. And then you end up with 3x for the first term plus 9y for the second term. So this is the answer. Okay, but of course, I hope you can see that for this 3x and 9y, actually there is a common factor 3. So you can also take out the common factor 3.
Okay.
So it's x plus 3y. So you want to put it nicely, you put the 3 in front, so it's 3 bracket x minus 3z. I'm just rearranging it. Okay, I put the 3 in front. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, you have started it, but somehow you just stop halfway. Okay. Then for B is 2 terms. So for 2 terms is easy. 2 terms you don't have the group. This is already a group. Okay, so for 2 terms you just take out common factor. So what is common? 25, 5 is common. X and x is common. Y and y is common. So out of this 20x squared y, you have taken out 5xy, you left with 4x. And then over here minus 1. That's it. 就这样子.
Okay.
Okay. You can actually test yourself. How? Okay, open it up. See if you can get back the original. Okay, so 5xy, 4x. So 5 times 4, 20. X times x squared, y. Then this minus 1, same thing, 5xy. Do you get the original? Yes, you get back the original. That means this answer is correct already. So that's how you can actually check your answer before your teacher marks for you. Okay. So in fact, I think it's time to give you a summary before we move on. Summary for algebraic manipulation. Manipulation means how you play with it. 2 terms. 2 terms is the best. Okay, it has already grouped for you already. So you don't have to group you don't have to group yourself. 3 terms. Factorization method. Can you think of the factorization method now? 4 terms. Group yourself. Okay, group yourself means first group and second group. Okay, so this is the mind map. Okay, if you face 2 terms, already grouped for you. You don't have to do it yourself. 3 terms, factorization method. 4 terms, you have to do the group yourself, first group and second group. Okay, so this is a very neat summary if you are given 2 terms, 3 terms, and 4 terms. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So hopefully next time, if you are given 2 terms, you can tell me, oh, they have really good for me. 3 terms, think of factorization. 4 terms, think of group yourself, first group, second group. Okay, so that's always the first step. Okay, another question, 10, sketch. Sketch is also a very common question in Sec 3. So this is y equals to 6x minus x squared. Okay, so they already sketch for you. Then they call this the origin O. They call this point P. Then they call this point Q. Okay, let's look at this question closely. They say they ask you for the coordinate of this point P. Do you know what is a coordinate? Do you know what is a coordinate? Or a point? Hello?
Yeah.
So P is a point, right?
Yeah.
So just to elaborate further, this is a point. So P is a point on the graph. Okay, and P is represented. That means how you represent. P is represented by two coordinates. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate to you what I mean by this. So let me just quickly draw x-axis, y-axis. This is the origin 0, 1, 2, 3. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2. Can I ask you, what is this point?
One.
No, you start with the x-axis first.
1.
You always start with the x-axis. So if you point down, you get 2, right? Does it make sense? Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
So if you point down, you get 2 for the x-axis, right? So now you look to the y-axis. What do you get?
1.
1, yes. So that's how you get the. So the x, the point x is represented by 2 and comma 1. Okay? So that's how you decide, or that's how you define a point. Okay, let's play with another point here. Okay, so the first step is always point to the x-axis first. So the x-axis is minus 3, comma, and then you point to the y-axis, minus 2. Okay, so let me call this point y. Okay, cannot, y-axis, I cannot use the y again. So let me call this A, point A. Okay, so point A is negative 3, comma, negative 2. So that's how you define a point. All right. Okay, so with this understanding, so you need to find out what is this point. So the point is given by something, comma, something. Can I ask you, what is this? So I need to go to the x value first. So that means you need to ask yourself, what is the x value here? What's the x value here?
P.
P is not a value. Value means 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, that kind of thing. So you probably you don't know this point, because I also cannot tell. But you go to the y, I think you can see your y value. What's your y value?
The y value is 6x minus 6x.
No, y value for this point. Y value for this point. This point, and then you go to the y, you can actually look at my arrow. Okay? So this is the arrow, then this is the point, this point P, So you just point to the y-axis. So you point to which value? So what value is this one?
0.
0. Yes. So the y value is 0. Okay. The x value, don't know yet. The x value is this one. Okay. Let me change color. Yeah. The green color, that's the x value, which I don't know yet. So that's why I write x here. But I know that the y value is 0 because it points to a 0. So the y value is 0. The x value I need to find out. Okay. So with this understanding, the y value is 0, right? The y value is 0. So what you do? Y value is 0. Okay. So if the y value is 0, that means you will get this equation. And this equation is similar to our beginning. Okay, so I'm going to take this to our beginning. This one. I will write down the question. The question, if I remember correctly, is 0, 6x minus x squared. 是吗? Let me double check. Yes, 6. Can you see? 0 equals to 6x minus x squared. And you compare it to the beginning. Can you compare it to this? Yeah. Can you see the similarity between these two? Yeah. Okay, so your first step is take out the common factor. So you have the common factor x. So you are left with 6, and then you're left with x. So once you get this and you get this, what's the next step? What's the next step? Equate them to 0. So for the first one, x equal to 0. And then for the second one, 6 minus x is equal to 0. So x is equal to 6. All right. So you get your x equals to 0 and x equal to 6. So if you go back to the question, so this will give x equals to 0, x equals to 6. Can I ask you, this point here is more like the 0 point or is more like the 6 point? This point here. So do you think it's the x equals to 0 point or x equals to 6 point? Which one?
6.
Yes. So therefore 6. So this point is actually 6 and 0. Okay. So that's the first step. Okay. Cannot. Yeah. The next question is write down the equation of the line of symmetry of the graph. So line of symmetry. Do you know what's the meaning of line of symmetry? Yes. Line of symmetry. Okay, so let me give you a few shapes. So if you have a rectangle, where is the line of symmetry? Here, right? Yeah. Here, right? Yep. If this is a square, just assume it's a square. Here is also a line of symmetry. Okay, looks like it's a bit off. So let me just move it back a bit. So this is also another line of symmetry. So for a square, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So for a square, okay, there are 4 lines of symmetry. Okay, the line of symmetry, right? If you can look at one of them, right? Basically, what's the meaning of? Okay, sorry. What's the meaning of line of symmetry? Is to cut the things into half. Okay, that's the line of symmetry. Yeah. Okay, so it's a mirror image. Can you see that this part and this part? Okay, they are mirror image. Okay, so this line of symmetry acts like a mirror. Okay, so that's the line of symmetry. So now The question is a curve, which is this curve. So the line of symmetry is actually, so let's say if you have a curve like this, the line of symmetry, let me just draw the curve once again. Let me draw a better curve. Okay, so the line of symmetry is here, which cut the curve into half. Okay, so this is freehand, so it's not 100%, but I think it's good enough. So let me just make it. Okay, no, I don't need this. Let me just make it better. By the way, this is freehand drawing, so don't expect it to be 100%, but it should be good enough. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that means this portion, if I use a different color, this portion and this portion, okay, so this is a mirror, the line of symmetry. So if this is a mirror, just now we found out this is 6, 0, and then this is 0, 0, which is the origin. So what do you think? Where is here? Yeah. Yeah, where is this point? So the origin is 0, 0, and then this is 6.0. What do you think is this point?
3.
It's in the middle, right? It's in the middle. So between 0 and 6 is 3. And then that is the x-axis. So if you look at the y, so you use the arrow, look to the y-axis. So can you see this is 0? So that's why this is 3, 0. So that is the line of symmetry. The line of symmetry is x equals to 3. So far so good. So the line of symmetry is x equal to 3. Okay? Can or not?
Yes, I do.
All right. Okay, good. So then we can continue. Then it says find the coordinate to a maximum point. Okay, so that means you need to find this point. This is the max point. Can you see? This is the max point, the highest point. Can you see of the curve?
Yeah.
This is the highest point of the curve. So highest point means max point, maximum point. So you can see that the x value is actually 3. So this point is defined by 3, comma. So how do you read the point? How do you get the point? Okay, so you just do this. Use an arrow. Ask yourself, go down. This point is 3, right? This point is 3. And if you go to the right, what is this value? I don't know, because there is no labeling here. So I write down y first. Right? So, but you know that this curve is actually called y equals to 6x minus x squared. So can you see that your x is 3? So what you do, you just sub it into this. So it becomes 6 times 3 minus 3 squared. So 18 minus 9. So the answer is 9. So the y is actually, can you see y equals to 9? So y is actually equals to 9. So far so good? Yeah. By the way, this concept is under coordinate geometry. Okay? Okay, let me spend some time on coordinate geometry, and then you will start to understand this concept. Or do you need more More teaching on this coordinate geometry concept?
I think I get it.
You get it? Okay, good. If you get it, I will just move on. Okay, good. Yep, that's it. Now they ask to the last question is they say find the area of OPQ, triangle OPQ. Simple. So you form a triangle O. This is O. This point is O. Then they say this point is Q. Let me choose a different color. They say this is Q. And they say this is O. And this is P. So you form a triangle OPQ. Let me just get rid of all the stuff. Okay. So OPQ. So that means you just extract the OPQ out. Then you will see that O P Q.
Oh, okay.
So O P Q. How do you find the area of a triangle? Base times height, right? So what's the base? The base is from, so the base, this is 0, 0. This is 6, 0. So the distance is 6 units for the base. Then you need to find out what's the height. So the height here is this. The height here is from here to here. So here to here, which is here to here. Here to here is, okay, this is 9. So this point is 9. So therefore here to this 0 point to here is actually 9 units. Okay, so the height is actually 9 units. So given by the base and the height, so area of triangle is half times base times height. Half times base 6 units, height is 9. So you get 3 times 9, 27 units square. So far so good?
Yeah.
Good. So that's how you can actually solve this question. Okay, that's it for this question 10. Question 8, inversely proportional. Okay, we talked about this concept, but let's move on. What's the formula for inversely proportional? Can you remember?
Inversely proportional. Inversely proportional. K equals to something over something.
Oh, actually, y equals to k over x.
Oh, okay.
Okay, for inversely proportional. So what about directly proportional? Just to test you. What's the formula for directly proportional? Y equals to kx. Okay, you have to memorize these two. You have to memorize this and this. If not, you can't do questions. All right. So for your question 8, you're talking about inversely proportional. So I just erase this. Okay. So it says y is inversely proportional to the square of x. So based on this, y is y. That's how you do. So y is y. So this y, I just put it here as y. Inversely proportional to the square of x. Square of x, so the x is no longer x, but square of x. Okay, so you have already get the question into this format. Y equal to k over x squared. Okay. This is the first step. Now it says given that y equals to 10 for a particular x. So what is 10? They say y is 10 for a value of x. They never give you the value of x. They just say y is 10, value of x. So you just put 10 into y lah. Okay? So you just put 10 into y. So if you put 10 into y, I hope you realize if you put 10 into y, you will end up with what? You will end up with 10 equals to k over x squared. And then if you just manipulate a bit, cross multiply, okay, 10 is 10 over 1, by the way. So you will get k equals to 10x squared.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you get k equals to 10x squared, simple. So just k equals to 10x squared. So you just replace your k with 10x squared. And then this 10 is replaced by y. So this is the formula. Okay. So once you get this formula, simple. Find the value of y when this x is half. So now make use of this. Okay, given this. Okay, let me just copy it down. Y equals to 10x squared over x squared. So now it says the x is half. X is half means this x is half. Okay, so x is half. So your x is no longer x but half x. So it means you just replace this x with half x. Okay, so then you get this. So once you get this, so you just simplify. Okay, how do you simplify this, by the way? Have a square. You go into the half. You go into the x. So half square, you use your calculator, you will get 1/4. X square, you get x square. So this whole thing becomes 10x squared over 1/4 x squared. Can you see that x squared and x squared, you cancel each other and you end up with 10 over 1/4. So 10 over 1/4, use your calculator, is 40. Okay, so they ask for the value of y. So y is 40.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how you do the question 8. All right. So far so good. So can we move on to the question 7? Yes. Hello. Can we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Next page. Okay, question 7. Oh, okay. So for question 7, you have to find the highest common factor and then of course the lowest common multiple. So you have to understand these two concepts. So you have this 196. 198, sorry. And then you have this 972. And then you are already given 198 into this. So 198 is actually equals to 2 times 3 to the power of 2 times 11. Oh, good that they give you the prime factorization. 2 to the power of 2, 3 to the power of 5. Okay, so by the way, this is called prime factorization. Prime factorization. So same thing. This part is called prime factorization. Okay, since we are talking about prime factorization, can you recall what is prime number? What is a prime number? Yeah, so can you tell me what are the two requirements?
Only have 2 factors.
Yes, 2 vectors. And then next? 1 and itself.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So that's the definition of prime number. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. I don't know how you get HCF. I don't know how you get his LCM, but let me teach you my way of getting HCF and LCM. How do you get the HCF of these two? Can you tell me how you get the HCF for these two numbers? It's wrong.
Fine. Do the imagine. You know when you put it's like a table and then you put the two numbers beside and then divide it across itself. Yeah.
Something like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's one way. Very good. You know what to do. But let me teach you another way. Why I want to teach you another way? Because this question, they already give you in this format. Okay. By the way, this format is called index notation format. This format, these two, the format is called format. It's called index notation format. Okay, I'm going to explain to you what is this about. So 2 times 2 is equal to 4, right? Am I right? So if you write 2 times 2, you have to write equal to 4. Or normally people write 4 is equal to 2 times 2. Okay, this is P6 format. Okay, or Sec 1. When you go to more than Sec 1, you reach Sec 2 or Sec 3, you're not going to write in 2 times 2. You're going to write in 2 to the power of 2. So this is index notation format.
Okay.
Okay. So if I give you 64, are you going to write down 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2? You know how many 2? 6 of them. Are you going to write in this manner? Pretty tiring, right?
No.
Right? Yeah. Pretty tiring. So like I say, this is P6. But if you reach Sec 3, actually Sec 2 onwards, you're going to write this. How many 2 you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 2 to the power 6. So this is called the index notation format. So can you see that it's so neat and tidy compared to your this? Sometimes if you write in this format, you will miss out one of them. Right? And it's very hard to read. Like 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, you see? Yeah, but this is so neat. 2 to the power 6. Okay, so that's why this question, right? They already give you in index notation. Can you see? 2 times 3 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 5. They are already in index notation format. Right? So you need to make use of the index notation format to find out the HCF. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate to you how I get HCF without doing the table. Let me just erase this first. Okay, for HCF, right? Just remember to HCF, the entire format is actually called highest common factor. If you don't know, okay. So for highest common factor, the first requirement is common factor. Okay. The second requirement is lowest power for the common factor. Okay, so if you look at this, if you look at the question given, it's very easy for you to find the highest common factor. So the first requirement must be common factor. Ask yourself. So I'm going to change color. Ask yourself here and here. Can you see they both have what? They both have a 2, right? Good. So common factor 2. Can you also see that they both have a 3?
Yeah.
Yep. And then after that, what's the second requirement? Lowest power for the common factor. For the 2, what is the lowest power? This is power 1. This is power 2. So the lowest power is 1.
Okay.
So for 3, this is power 2. This is power 5. So what is the lowest power? 2. That's it. Times them together. So the answer is, oh, by the way, can you see 11 is not, 11 is only in 198. So it's not common. So I never write 11. So 2 times 9 is 80. So that's the highest common factor.
Okay.
So this is the way you find out the highest common factor. Then what about the LCM? I probably need to use here. LCM of 198 and 972. Okay, so for LCM, okay, the first requirement is all factors. Second requirement, highest power for all the factors. Okay, so if you look at the 198 and 972, which is below here, I see a 2, I see a 2. Common or not common is okay. As long as I see it, I need to write it down. So I see a factor 2, I see it appeared 2 times, I just write once. I see the 3, even it appeared 2 times, I write 1 time, and then times them together. I see a 11, yeah, so I need to write down the 11 down because the first requirements are all factors for LCM. Okay, we are talking about LCM here, all factors. And then after that, you choose the highest power for the all the factors. So for the 2, highest power, this is 1, this is 2, so the highest is 2. For the 3, this is 2, this is 5, the highest is 5. So for 11, there is only one 11, so the highest power is 1, so I choose 1. So if you compute this out, that is the LCM. So this is 4, then this is, okay, this is getting very, very big. Okay, so I need a calculator. Can you help me out? So 4 times what times 11? So can you help me out? 3 to the power 5.
Two, 4, 3.
Very good. 2, 4, 3. So can you figure out the entire thing?
One 10692.
Okay, very good. So this is the LCM. All right. So the question that asks is the smallest case such that 198K is a perfect cube. 198 cube. Okay, so 198 is here. So they want 198 cube. So I'm going to just erase some of the stuff here. Okay, so 198K is a perfect cube. What is the meaning of perfect cube? That means you can cube root it. Okay, so cube root means perfect cube. So that's the meaning. Okay, so instead of writing 198, you write it in this manner. So I just change it to the prime factorization or the index notation part. So I'm going to do it here. So 198 is 2 to the power 1 times 3 to the power 2 times 11 square cube root. So basically, I just replace the 198 with this. And of course, times K. Okay. Then can I ask you, cube root is the opposite of something cube, right? Square root is the opposite of something square, right? So you just need to remember this. Square root is the opposite. Is that from you? Oh, okay, fine.
No, this is my fault.
Yeah, yes, okay, it's okay. So cube root is the opposite of cube. Square root is the opposite of square. So can I ask you, if you look at this, you have a cube root here, and you only have 1, 2. I mean, you only have 1, 2. So what do you think? Do you need another 2, or you need 2 more 2s so that you can cube root this? You can't cube root this, by the way. You can test with your calculator. If you cube root 2, right, you're going to end up with a irrational number, which is indefinite. So that means if you get this, so you cannot cube root this, but you can cube root this, because cube root and cube, you are going to cancel it, right? So therefore, given 2 to the power 1, okay, but now you need to times a k, right? So you need to add 2 more 2 into it. So your k definitely contain so your k definitely contain 2, 2. Okay? And now I have finished this one already for the 2. I asked myself for the 3 to the power of 2. Can you cube root 3 to the power of 2? I don't think so, because cube root is not the opposite of square. So you short of 1, 3. So the k has to have a 3. Then again, you go and do the cube root of 11, which is this. So I have done for this one by adding this one. I've done this by adding this one. Then now cube root 11. So you cannot cube root 11. You need another 2 11 to cube root this. So therefore you add 11 to power of 2. So the k is actually this one. So if you simplify, oh no, if you use your calculator, can you help me out? So that's the k.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the k. Twelve times 121.
1452.
Okay, so yeah, so this is the answer. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So I think today we have covered, by the way, the entire all the questions from paper 1. Just nice. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so today we have a lot of concepts. Okay, we have learned a lot of concepts. But I think that the most important one I will still think is the 2 terms, and then the 3 terms, and then the 4 terms. This one I want you to master first. This is under algebraic manipulation. Okay, so these are the very common one, especially the 3 terms one, factorization method. Okay, I want you to master this first. Okay.
Okay.
So next lesson, if you face any problems, I highly encourage you to watch the recorded video first, and then you can actually use the same concepts, and then you can do the paper 2, or you can do other questions already. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have any other question before we conclude the day?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. So let's conclude the day, and thank you for joining my meeting. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.